Hello, I'm going to speak about something that a few people don't like to talk about, few people don't understand, and few people talk about it all the time. But I'm going to talk about what I have found, and we're going to talk about the fallen angels. That's what I'm going to talk about, okay? We have to begin with Daniel, because we need to know who the fallen angels are. And, okay, let's go over here. Let me find Daniel over here. Okay. No, not there, not there, not there. Here. Daniel 4. Let's go to chapter 4 in Daniel. Okay, and begin with let me get me a drink. Begin with 4 and verse 4. Nebuchadnezzar was at rest in my house and flourishing in my palace. I saw, and it says, I, Nebuchadnezzar, was at rest, okay? I saw a dream which made me afraid, and the thoughts upon my bed and the vision of my head troubled me. Therefore made I a decree to bring in all the wise men of Babylon before me, that they might make known unto me the interpretation of the dreams. So Nebuchadnezzar had dreams all the time. Then came in the magicians and the astrologers and the Chaldeans and the soothsayers, and I told the dream before them, but they did not make known unto me the interpretation thereof. So with all of their evil powers and all of their evil stuff, they could not interpret this dream. But at last Daniel came in before me, whose name was Belteshazzar, according to the name of my God, and in whom is the spirit of the holy God. And before him I told the dream, saying, O Belteshazzar, master of the magicians, because I know that the spirit of the holy God is in thee, and no secret trouble thee, tell me the vision of my dream, that I may see and interpret thereof. This was the vision of my dream. My head in my bed, and I saw and behold tree in the midst of the earth, and the height thereof was great, and the tree grew and was strong, and the height thereof reached unto heaven, and the sight thereof to the end of the earth. The leaves thereof were fair, and the fruit thereof much, and in it was meat for all, and the beasts of the field and had shadow under it, and the fowls of the heaven dwelt in the branches thereof, and all the flesh was fed of it. I saw in my dream my head upon my bed, and behold, a watcher. A watcher. Pay attention. A watcher, a holy one, came down from heaven. A watcher is an angel, okay? They call him a holy one. And he cried aloud and said this, hew down the tree and cut off his branches and shake off his leaves and scatter his fruit, and let the beasts get away from under it and the fowls from his branch. Nevertheless, leave the stump of his root in the earth, even with a brand of iron base in the tender grass of field, and let it be wet with the dew of heaven, and let his portion be with the beast in the grass of the earth. Let his heart be changed from man's, let the beast's heart be given unto him, and let 7 times pass over him. This matter is by the degree of the watcher. It's a particular angel, a watcher, okay? And determined by the word of the Holy One, to the enter that they live may know that the most high ruler in the kingdom of man, and giveth it when whomsoever he will, and set up over it the beast of the man. This dream I, King Nebuchadnezzar, have seen. Now thou, O Belteshazzar, declare the interpretation thereof, for as much as all the wise men of my kingdom are not able to make known unto me the interpretation, but that are able, for the Spirit of the Holy God is in thee. So he's calling Daniel there to interpret to this dream, because he's seen a watcher, an angel, and heard what that angel said, because he pronounced a decree upon Nebuchadnezzar. So let's go on. Then Daniel, whose name was Belshazzar, was astonished for 1 hour, and his thoughts troubled him. The king spoke and said, Belshazzar, let not the dream or the interpretation thereof trouble thee. Belshazzar answered and said, O Lord, the dream be to them that hate thee, and the interpretation thereof to thine enemies. The tree that thou sawest, which grew and was strong, which hath reached into the heavens, and the sight thereof to all the earth, whose leaves were fair, and the fruit thereof much, and in it was meat, and for all under which the beasts of the field dwelt, upon whose branches the fowl of the heavens have their inhabitants. It is then, O king, thou art grown and become strong, for thy greatness is grown, and reaches unto the heaven, and thy domain is to the end of the earth. And whereas the king saw a watcher, a holy one, coming down from heaven, saying, hew the tree down and destroy it, yet leave the stump of the root thereof in the earth, even with a brand of iron and brass, and in the tender leaves grass of the field, and let it be wet with the dew of the heaven, and let his portion be with the beast of the field till 7 times pass over him. This is the interpretation, O king. This is the decree of Most High, which is come upon my lord the king. Thou shalt drive thee, they shall drive thee from man that dwell, shall be with the beast of field, and they shall make thee to eat grass as an ox, and thou shalt wet thee with the dew of the heaven, and 7 times shall pass over thee, till thou knowest thou most high ruler in the kingdom of man, and give it to whomever he will. And whatsoever the command to leave the stump of the tree roots, thy kingdom shall be sure unto thee, after thou shalt have known the heavens do rule. Wherefore, O king, let my counsel be accepted unto thee, and break off thy sins by righteousness, and thy iniquities by showing mercy to the poor, if it may be a length of the tranquility. So these were an angels. Watchers are angels, okay? Let's see what it says. I've read all that. Let's see. I wrote down for some reason Jeremiah 4:16. Make ye nations motions to the nation. Behold, push against Jerusalem, that watchers come from a far country, come out their voice against the cities of Judah. Watchers are talking about angels. Okay, so the first we see of these angels, of watchers, is in Genesis 6. Okay. And it come to pass when, in chapter 6, It come to pass when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and the daughters were born to them, the sons of God saw the daughters of men that were fair, and they took them as wives, all which they chosen. And the Lord said, My spirit shall not always strive with man, but that he also is flesh, yet his days shall be 120 years. That there are giants in the earth in these days, and also after that, when the sons of God came unto the daughters of men, and they bore children to them, and they become mighty men, which were of old men of renown. Okay. The watchers are the sons of God, angels. I tried to explain from a Hebrew text that I am not a son of God. I'm a child, a man right now. Adam was a son of God because God picked up the dust of the earth, made and breathed the breath in him. The angels are sons of God because they were formed and made by God's hand. Now, Seth, well, Cain and Abel and Seth and them were not the sons of God. They were the sons of Adam, who was the son of God. We are working on becoming the sons of God, because it says in Romans, Paul is talking about that the earth eagerly wait for the manifestation of the sons of God. They have not come about as of yet. We are a piece of clay that's being worked on. So we must understand this very surely. To understand that these sons of God that is speaking of here in 6 verse 2, that the sons of God saw the daughters of men, they are angels and they are watchers. Now, I know some people will probably say, oh, you're crazy. I've studied this. This is how I believe. You can believe it too. You don't have to believe it. Your choice. I believe there was an island out in the ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, that was between America, the Isles of America, and the Isles over there in the European and Africa, outside of the gates of Gibraltar. The Greek writer wrote of this, about Atlantis. And when you read about the people of Atlantis, they were very wise. They were very good, and they taught people. They taught people things. That's what they did. They were teachers. They were sent down. They were angels to teach mankind how they should live and live for God. And their residence was on Atlantis. I truly believe. But as these angels come onto the land, and they were in contact with the women, they become full of lust. They desired the women of mankind, and they begin to marry and fornicate themselves, because they were angels. They weren't supposed to do that, okay? They weren't supposed to have marriage and doing this stuff, but they chose, full of lust, to do this. And they took the daughters of men, and they began to appropriate and have the Nephilim, which is the giants, which is spread throughout the Bible, okay? So the spreading of these things in the Bible, teaching that there was like 36 tribes of giants here upon earth, okay? I will put it down below. But because of them doing this, and then the Nephilim began to procreate also, which speaks later on in the Bible, God decided to destroy all the living things but a few, Noah and his family, because he had a pure bloodline. He had a pure bloodline that went all the way back to gotta get some air on me, to Adam. Had not been polluted by these. And in fact, let me read to you out of the book of Josephus. Okay, in the first book, in the 3rd chapter of Josephus, it says, "Now this portion of Seth continued to esteem God as the Lord of the universe, to have an inter-regent to Virtue for the 7th generation, but in process of time they were provoked and forsake the principles of their forefathers, and did neither pay their homage to God which was appointed to them, nor had they any concern to do justice towards men, but for what decree of zeal that they finally shown for Virtue, they now showed by their action a double degree of wickedness, whereby they made God to be their enemy. For many angels of God, accompanied with women, many angels of God, Accompanied with women, and begot sons that provoked unjust and despised of all that was good, on account of the conflict that had in their own strength. For the tradition is that these men did what resembled the act of those whom the Grecans called giants. But Noah was very uneasy at what they did, and being displeased at their condition, persuaded them to change their disposition and their acts for the better. But seeing that they did not yield to him, he would preach to them, but they were slaves to their wicked pleasures, he was afraid they would kill him together with his wife and children, and thus they had married. So he departed out of that land. So he went out of that land. Now God loved this man for his righteousness, yet he did only condemn those other men for their wickedness, but determined to destroy the whole race of mankind, and to make another race that would be pure from wickedness, and cut short their lives, and made their years not so many as they firmly lived, but 120 only. And he turned the dry land into sea. This is how the flood began. And thus were all these men destroyed, but Noah alone was saved. For God suggested to him the following conviction and the way of escape, that he should make an ark of 4 stones higher, 300 cubits long, 50 cubits broad, and 30 cubits high. According he entered into the ark, and his wife and sons and their wives, and they put into it not only other provisions to supply their wants there, but also sent in with the rest of all sorts of living creatures, male and female, for the provision of their kind, and others of them by sevens. And now this ark had fine walls and a roof, and was braced with crossbeams, so that it would not be any way downed or overboarded by the violence of the water. And thus was Noah and his family preserved. Now he was the 10th from Adam, as being the son of Lynch, whose father was Mathusala. He was the son of Enoch, the son of Jared, and Jared was the son of Malachi, Malaleee, who with many of his sisters were the children of Cainan, the son of Enoch, whom Enoch was the son of Seth and the son of Adam. This calmly helped in the 600 years of this calamity happened in the 600 years of Noah's government age, in the second month, called the Macedonians, order their year. So did they order their years in Egypt. But Moses appointed the Nisan, which is the same with Xanthicus, should be the first month for their festival, because he brought them out of Egypt in the month, so that this month, beginning the year, as all the solutions that deserve the honor of God, although he preserved the ordinary order of the month as to sale and buy and other ordinance affairs. Now he saith that this flood, being on the 17th day of the forementioned month, and this was 1656 years from Adam, the first man, the time is written down in a sacred book, those who that lived having noted down with great authority both the birth and death of Illustrious men. So Josephus, in his account, making his record, told about how the angels fell and why the flood come. We must understand this. Why do you say, Barbara, we should understand this? Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus, said in Matthew 24 that the last days would be like unto the days of Noah. What was the major thing that was happening in the days of Noah that caused God to become so angry that he would destroy the whole world, the whole earth, but a handful? Noah, his wife, his sons, and his daughter-in-laws. What would that be? The angels, the watchers, planned together to come together in a plan to take women as their wives and have children by them. And God said, no, this cannot happen. So we see this is why the flood happened. Although we see that it happened again, that in, let me go to Deuteronomy, okay, or Numbers. Let's go to Numbers. I'm going to try to take it down. I may have to make 2 or even 3 of this, because I want you to understand what I'm saying. Numbers 13. Numbers 13, 33, and there we saw giants, the son of Anak, which is a Nephilim, a giant, which came out of the giants. We were in our sight as grasshoppers, so we were in their sight. So we see once again that some angels again come down and cohabitated with women, and we see that in the land of promise, Canaan and them, that we see once again this is happening again in Moses' time, and it happened over in the promised land. Because you see, I believe that when the flood happened and Atlantis went down, the fallen angels went up. But the Nephilim died. And when they died, being hybrids, they had no soul. There was no forgiveness for them. They're not like us. We have a chance to be forgiven, but they don't have a chance to be forgiven. And as they died, their evil spirits left their body and roams around the world. When we see demons, we are seeing the giants, the spirits of those giants that died because they can't be saved. There's no forgiveness for them, period. No forgiveness for the fallen angels. They condemn their own selves to what will happen in time to them. They are angels right now that are tied up in chains, waiting till the final judgment, and they will be thrown into the pit, because they're already judged. The lake of fire. So, the main thing that you need to know, they will come back to earth again. They will. Let's go over to Deuteronomy, okay? Deuteronomy 2. Okay, Deuteronomy 2, 10 and 11. And it says, the Elohim dwelt therein in times past, a people great and many, and tall as the Anakims, that's the giants, which also were accounted giants as the Anakims. But the Moabites called them Emis. So we see again the giants upon this earth in Deuteronomy 2 and 10. Let's go to 2:20 of Deuteronomy. And it says, that also was according a land of giants. Giants dwelt therein in old times, and the Ammonites called them Zumims. That's Genesis 14 and 5. A people great and many, and tall as the Anakims. But the Lord destroyed them before them, and they succeeded them and dwelt in their stead. And as he did to the children of Esau, which dwelt in Seir, with the destroyed the Horims from before them, and they scattered them and dwelt in their stead even unto his own day. So they were to destroy these giants. They were to destroy these demagogues. Really, that's what we call them, demagogues. To destroy them. Let's go to chapter 3 and 11. For only Og, king of Bashur, remained of the raiment of giants. Behold, his bedstead was a bedstead of iron. Is it not the Rahab of the children of Ammon? The 9 cubits was the length thereof, and 4 cubits the breadth thereof, after the cubit of man. So this was a giant, a Nephilim, and they were here on earth, and they were the offsprings of fallen angels, watchers. Okay, you have to understand this. Chapter, let's see. Oh, okay, then it goes on 13. And the rest of Gilead, all of Basher, being the kingdom of Og, gave I unto half tribe of Masher, and the region of Argob, with the Basher, which was called the land of giants. So he was saying how he divided the land, and he gave their land to Israel. Let's go to 9. Chapter 9 of Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy, chapter 9. Is it chapter 9? Yes, chapter 9. 1 through 7. 1 through... Okay. Hear, O Israel, thou art to pass over Jordan this day, to go into to possess the nations great and mighty. Thou thyself, city great and forces up to heaven, a people great, tall, the children of the Anakims, the half-breeds of the fallen angels, whom thou knowest, and of whom thou hast heard, say, who can stand before the children of Anak? Understand therefore this day that the Lord thy God is he who goes over before thee as a consuming fire. He shall destroy them, and he shall bring them down before thy face, so thou shalt drive them out and destroy them quickly, as the Lord hath said unto thee. The Lord wanted them to destroy, totally destroy, wipe this seed off of the face of the earth. But evidently they didn't. They kind of goofed up, and they did not do that. They chose to live amongst them, live with them, which was not according to God's will. Okay, let's go over here to Joshua. Joshua 12. Joshua 12 and 4. And it says, and the cast, C-O-A-S-T, of Ogar, king of Basher, which was of the remnant of the giants that dwelt in Ashtaroth, A-S-H-T-A-R-O-T-H, at Eden, and reigned in the mountain of Herim, H-E-R-M-O-N, and in S-A-L-C-H, in all of Basher, unto the border of Geshurs and M-A-A-C-H-A-T-H-I-T-E-S, and half of Gad, and the borders of Shaman, the king of Heshbon. So again, we see them. We see them here, right here in Joshua. And they were there in the promised land, and God told them to wipe them out. Totally destroy them. Let's go to Joshua 13:12. All the kingdoms of Ogar and Basher, which reigned in Ashtar and Edi, who remained of the raiment of the giants, for this did Moses smite and cast them out. So they were smart, but they were still alive, still well, and still residing. Okay? 15 and 8. And the border went up by the valley of the son of Hyman into the south side of Jebusite, the name of Jerusalem, and the border up to the top of the mountain that layeth behind the valley of him more westward, which is the end of the valley of the giants northward. So we see north of Jerusalem there was a valley of giants where they lived. Let's go over to 17, 14, and let's read beginning with verse 14. And the children of Joshua spoken Joseph, and the children of Joseph spoke unto Joshua, saying, Why hast thou given me but one lot and one portion to inherit, seeing I am a great people, forasmuch as the Lord hath blessed me hereto? And Joshua answered them, If thou wilt be a great people, then get thee up to the woodland, cut down for thee thyself there in the land of Perizzites, and of the giants. So he gave them land that belonged to the giants, and he's telling them, go take it. If Mount Ephraim be so narrow for thee. And the children of Joseph said, The hill is not enough for us, and all the Canaanites that dwell in the land of the valley have chariots of iron. Both they who are of Beshi and her towns, and they are of the valley of Jezreel. Is that not where the battle is going to be fought? The last day battle? The battle of Armageddon is going to be fought in the valley of Jezreel, the valley where the giants are laying near. And Joshua spoke unto the house of Joseph, even to Ephraim and to Manasseh, saying, Thou art a great people, and hast great power. Thou shalt not have one lot only, but the mountain shall be thine, for it is a wood, and thou shalt cut it down, and the outgoing of it shall be thine. For thou shalt drive out the Canaanites, which are giants, though they have iron chariots, and though they be strong. So they said, You're a mighty nation. You can do this. Go and do this. Drive them out. 18:16, we hear again. And the border came down to the end of the mountain that layeth behind the valley of the son of Hinnom, and which is the valley of the giants, on the north, and descended to the valley of Hinnom to the side of Jebus on the south, and descended to Enrogel. They were parceling off this valley, off this land that belonged to the giants. And they were to drive them out, to destroy them, to get rid of them, to take them down. Now let's go to 2 Samuel chapter 21. And let me see, verse 22. Oh, let's go back. Let's see. Okay. Let's begin with verse 15. Moreover, the Philistines had yet war against Israel, and David went down and his servants with him and fought against the Philistines, and David waxed faint. And Benob, which was of the son of the giant, the weight of whose spear weighed 300 shekels of brass in weight, and he being guard with a new sword, thought to have slain David. But Abishai, the son of Zeruiah, scourged him and smit the Philistine and killed him. Then the man of David swore unto him, saying, Thou shalt go no more out with us to battle, that thou quench not the light of Israel, because David had got old and weary. And these giants were big and mighty and strong. And it come to pass after this, they were again a battle with the Philistines at Gob. Then Sibbechai, the Hishatan, slew Saph, which was of the son of the giants. See, so in David's time, there was still giants. The Nephilim was still there. Things were still happening that shouldn't be happening. And there were again a battle in Gab with the Philistines, where the Elhanan, the son of Jeroham, the Bethehemite, slew the brother of Goliath, the Gittite, the staff of whose sword was like a weaver's beam, big. And there was yet a battle in Gath, where was a man of great stature that had hands 6 fingers, and on every foot 6 toes, 24 in number, and he also was born to the giants. And when he defiled Israel, Johath, the son of Sharham, the brother of David, slew him. Thus 4 were born to giants in Gath, and fell by the hand of David, by the hand of his servants. So you see, these Nephilim, which were the offsprings of the fallen angels, were now going into women and having children. So they did not just disappear, and they are still walking up here on earth. I have more, but I'm going to put some deals for you to go to. I'm telling you, the Nephilim will return when the watchers, the fallen angels, come back down to earth in their ships. We see them. There are people, people call them aliens. Well, of course they're aliens. You don't know who they are, and you don't know where they come from, but they're watchers, and they're the fallen watchers, not the good ones, because they still have good. God has a group of angels called watchers in heaven that's come down, spy on us, and report back to God, okay? These, the fallen angels, come down and spy on us and report back to Satan, their God. But they come down and they are genetically designing Nephilim from our DNA, that will once again, they will come upon earth in the last days. And I know some of you will go say, Barbara, you really lost it. I truly believe in Revelations. If you will read and with understanding and pray, chapter 12 is talking about Satan being totally cast out from heaven, the dragon. When he comes, he will bring the rest of the fallen angels with him, and those that are there that have been doing what they need to do to rejuvenate the Nephilim, the ones that are half human and half fallen angels, will come back to earth. Now, I believe that the mythological characters of the great, like Zeus, like all of those mythological gods that the Greek Greeks and the Romans talked about. I don't think they were mythological. I think they were Nephilim that were born to these fallen angels. And it says very plainly here in Genesis. What does it say about these things that are born? Here. Now in the Jewish Bible, the Torah, it does call them Nephilim. But in our book, in the Bible, that they call them giants. And let me see, where does it say? And the sons of God saw the daughters of men that they were fair, and they took them wives, all of their choice. And the Lord said, my spirit shall not always strive with man, for he also is flesh, and yet he is also flesh. Man was flesh, but he, the Nephilim, was also is flesh, yet his days shall be 120. So he shortened it. And there were giants, but in the book of Torah, the Torah calls them Nephilim, okay? Half-breeds. There were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that. Not only on these days, but after that. When the sons of God came down unto the daughters of men, and they bore children to them, and some become mighty men, which were of old, men of renown. Now, I think that the best allusion to the mythological deal is of Zeus. Zeus had many children, I suppose, but by what is written about him. But Hercules is supposedly dad is Zeus, okay? And how Hercules conceived, there was this young maiden, virgin, that was taking a bath in a lake, and on the lake there was this beautiful swan. Well, she was intrigued by him, and she went to the swan, and there was a sexually encounter between her and the swan. Started talking about bestiality. But it turned out that the swan was not a swan, it was Zeus. And so therefore, Hercules was born. At this time, I really believe a lot of these myths that they talk about are not myths. They are true. And they were born from these fallen angels, and they become demigods of the world of that day, and pretty well rule the world back in those ancient times until Jesus Christ came, which disturbed the pattern of them. They will come back to earth again. They're beginning to get to the point that the new age group is looking for them, expecting them, because they believe we are star children. The Hopis teach that we are star children. A lot of the Native American and a lot of the other religions, Hindus and them, believe that we are star children coming from the star gods, and that they will come down to reteach us. That's why the world will accept them when they come. I just felt led that I need to point that out, that we need not be deceived, okay? We need to be very careful what kind of signs and wonders we see in the heaven and when they begin to happen. We will see things that will boggle your mind, and that you had at one time thought they were myths and they were not. You will be totally confused and confounded if you're not careful, and you will fall into the league of Satan and follow these offsprings into destruction. I just pray that you are blessed, okay? And I will put some things underneath so you can look, and if you want to look, check it out, go ahead. If not, well, that's up to you. But this is how I believe, and I will have more later on. Thank you, and bless you.